Okay, so you're a startup founder, right? And you do the standard thing. You quit your day job, you get some startup financing, you maybe join a startup incubator in your town. You take maybe 6 months or so to develop your product or service, and then finally you launch, and you discover it doesn't sell. Does this sound familiar? Unfortunately, to a lot of startup founders and entrepreneurs, this is all too familiar. Today we're going to examine why this happens, what's going on, and how we can avoid it. My name is Bill, the company's expert, and welcome to part 2 of a little mini-series I'm doing where I examine common entrepreneur mistakes, figure out what's happening, and how we can avoid them. So let's dive in. Okay, now in my experience, there's basically 2 types of people that become entrepreneurs, and maybe if you're an entrepreneur, you're probably one of these 2 types of people. I call them the salesperson and a technical person. Chances are you're one or the other. Now, if you're a salesperson, you're probably more extrovert, you come from sales and marketing, you're less likely to fall into this trap and make this mistake. But if you're a technical person, now I know technical people are pretty wonderful. I myself started out as a technical person, but technical people have a blind spot and that puts them at risk to make this type of mistake. Okay? Now, maybe, just maybe, it's because you've been told the biggest fallacy in all of business, which is build it and they will come. Have you ever heard that? Build it and they will come. Everybody loves to say that. It's not true. If you need evidence for that, look at the fact that well over 90% of all startup ventures fail within their first year, okay? Those people generally build it and nobody comes, okay? Now, why is that? Well, the reason is pretty apparent to anybody who has run a business, okay? A business is not just product development. A business is several things, including the sales and marketing operation, which is one of the key parts of the business, okay? Now, let's examine the mental process of a lot of technical startup founders, okay? Now, don't get me wrong, okay? I love technical founders. It's great to see people that have a background often in science and math and computers, and they can build things with their hands and they can make something happen. They're the ones that develop the product, and they are the technical authority on the product. And that's something that's extremely critical to success. So I'm not knocking it, but they have this little blind spot, okay? And I think at the back of their mind, and I speak from experience here, they have this, what do you call it? It's like a truth. It's an assumption about the world that says that people will want this. People should want this. Therefore, they will want this. Okay? And that's like a little truth to them. That's baked into their thought processes. You know? If people should want this, so they will want it. Therefore, if I build it and they see it, and they will realize that they should want it, and then they will want it. Unfortunately, that is not true, okay? I would love to live in that world. I really would, okay? Where people want the things that they should want. That would be awesome. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world. I mean, think about it. We spend more on movies every year than we do on the educational system, right? People don't want the things that they should want, okay? People are illogical and they want dumb things. Anybody in sales and marketing knows this. You know this, okay? So what this means is that if you build it and people see it, and even if it's a good thing that they should want, they probably won't make that connection immediately, okay? So knowing this, people have created the field of study of marketing and sales, which is connected to marketing, okay? And what this does is it basically creates a self-awareness, not just about us, but about our company and our product. And it helps us to step into the shoes of a potential customer, okay? And instead of being dogmatic and having all these assumptions, what marketing does is it's a very objective scientific study, okay, of customer behavior and potential customer behavior that lets us know what we're up against and what we have to do to convince these people to do business with us. Okay? Now, marketing doesn't just start when you have the product developed, okay? There's an entire market research phase that happens from day one. And you can argue that this should even come before product development. Before you develop a product, you go and make sure that it's something that people will want. And if you spend the money and the time developing it, they will buy it. Okay, that's what marketing is all about. So this is absolutely critical. Now, a great litmus test to see if you are at high risk of falling into this trap and making this mistake is the following. If you look at the business plan of a technical type entrepreneur and it's geared around product development, which is good, but yet it only includes sales and marketing as an afterthought, that's a red flag. What it should look like, in my opinion, based on my many years of experience working with startup founders and consulting on SMEs, small, medium-sized enterprise, is it should be split 50-50 between the product development side and the marketing and sales side and market research side. Okay? You should be allocating resources approximately 50-50. Of course, this is going to vary by industry, but okay, the sun has come out, so I'm going to have to make an adjustment here to my camera. As you can tell, I'm using some very, very high-tech equipment here that has never, ever let me down before. Here, how's that? Okay. There we go. I apologize for that. You need to have it split about 50-50 between product development and marketing. If you don't have that split and you haven't allocated a budget in approximately that way, that's a big red flag, and you could be heading towards making this mistake, okay? If things are done right, by the time you get to the point where you launch your product development is complete, okay? You know that people want it. You've tested the waters. You have maybe done some pre-sales. So customers are waiting to buy this the moment it's released, okay? Maybe they've even given you money in advance, which has helped, your entire startup situation in terms of the finance side, which is a whole other topic, okay? And by the time you get to the launch stage, you already can go into production and produce several units of your product or service for waiting customers. And then beyond that, you know that there's a large potential or market potential behind this product beyond those initial set of customers, okay? If you've done it right, that's a situation you should be walking into, okay? So that's my advice for someone in this situation. That's how we avoid this. And I have done another video where I go deeper into marketing and how you can sort of bone up on this field of study, where I recommend a textbook. I'll put a link to that in the description. So thank you very much for your attention. As always, you guys are awesome, each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.